Welcome back to one more session of International Financial Management. In our last class, we were discussing about balance of payment and its component, and we have discussed in detail about current account. So to do a brief revision about it, uh, current account is the flow of funds with respect to sale and purchase of goods and services, and also the remittance of rent in income and other types of unilateral transfers. So today we'll study about capital account and financial account. So capital account is nothing but the flow of funds between one country and the rest of the world with respect to purchase and sale of assets. So when you say sale of assets means it includes not only buying and selling of assets, but also flow in terms of investment and loans. So we have three types of capital account flows. One is called as the foreign direct investment, then securities, portfolio, that is called as the portfolio investment, and other types of blank claims and liabilities. Okay, when we say foreign direct investment, it means investing in a foreign country by purchasing existing factories or setting up new factories. So you're investing in terms of asset, or you're buying shares of the company abroad. It can be if somebody is buying in India, there is inflow of cash, that is credit. If an Indian is buying abroad or investing abroad, it is outflow of cash. So when you say direct investments, foreign direct investment means you are directly buying assets or factories or companies, that is in infrastructure. When we say portfolio investment or securities investment, it means we are buying shares or we are giving loan to foreign companies. So it may be in terms of debentures or it may be in terms of shares. The third type is bank claims and liabilities, means you are taking a loan from a foreign bank. So any such type of purchase or sale of asset or investment or loan is between one country and rest of the world is called as capital and financial account. So when there is a country is receiving payment from foreigners, there is a credit. When a foreigner is receiving payment, it is debit. So it also includes official settlement transactions, that is movement of financial assets among official holders, official reserve assets, and liabilities to foreign official agencies. So even a country is having embassy and buying on assets, so that is also comes under such transactions of capital investment. So when you make a balance of payment, it includes current account, capital account, both debits and credits. But many a times what happens is the debit and credits don't match. There is some kind of discrepancy, means there is some error. Maybe because the information was not collected, or some of the transactions are not known completely. So when you say balance of payment, it is like a balance sheet. So it should tally. Both the debits and the credits should be equal. But most of the times there are some, as we have studied in accounts, there is some suspense account, means when there is when the debit and credit don't tally. So similar way in balance of payment also, there are some errors and omissions because of maybe the information was not collected properly or it was not estimated properly. Now we have studied what is capital account, what is financial account, and what is current account. So we'll just look at what is the percentage of trade volume of different countries. So when you talk about the when you say trade volume, it is the exports and imports. So when you talk about European countries, exports, imports are about 30 to 40%, or you can say the net exports. When you say net exports means the difference between imports and exports. So that is about 30 to 40% of GDP. While in USA and Japan, it is only 10 to 20% of GDP. Same thing when you talk about India. Indian exports of goods and services are 19.74%, that is almost 20% of GDP, whereas imports constitute a higher side, that is almost 24%. So to be precise, it is 23.64%. But over the years, every year it keeps on growing over time based on the needs and demand of the countries. So what is the reason for such an increase of trade volume worldwide? It is because of different agreements between countries so that they can reduce the trade restrictions and freely everybody can sell and buy goods internationally. So we have many pacts. So to start with, we have the US-Canada Free Trade Pact, that is 1988. Free trade means like India is having with Nepal. Okay, so we can trade freely. Similarly, USA and Canada has a free trade pact. They don't have any restrictions with regard to trade between those two countries. Then there is one more trade agreement, free trade agreement, that is NAFTA. That is the trade agreement between North American countries. When you say North American countries, it is Mexico, USA, and Canada. Then you all must be knowing about GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or now what we call it as WTO. Okay, so around 200 plus countries around the world have signed these agreements and agreed to do trade, reducing the trade restrictions. We have one more thing that is called as European Union or Single European Act, where there is free trade between European countries. Then like we have trade agreements, we have some trade disagreements also. Now what is this trade disagreement? So many countries, to discourage foreign imports, they have a system called as tariffs and quotas. Now what is tariff? Tariff means the price at which you can buy a particular product. Quota means the limited quantity only you can import the product. So other than these two disagreements, we have other strategies so that we can enhance local firms' exporting edge, means to boost exports and reduce imports. There are different laws. So we have environmental laws and labor laws. Then dumping. Different environmental laws means whenever a foreign country is trying to come and set up its unit here, they are being discouraged based on some environmental issues, maybe use of excess water or cutting of a forest, or also labor laws. Like for example, if any company is coming, they sometimes what happens is many governments say that there is certain percentage of employment should be given to the locals and so on. Then another issue is whenever say somebody is trying to start up a new company, and to get government clearance, it has to give bribes, and the bribes are really huge. So this makes the companies discouraged to set up a unit there. One more issue is dumping. Now what is dumping? Dumping means selling a product in foreign countries at a price which is lower than its cost price. So the best example for dumping is Chinese products. They are sold elsewhere at a price which is less than the cost price or less than the price at which it is sold in the home country. So by doing this, what happens is local competitors cannot compete with such low prices and they may perish. So a government may have anti-dumping duties also. Then tax breaks for specific industries. Say for example, some new units are there or some units are there which are very vulnerable. So to establish them, many a times government gives them tax breaks, means for initial say up to a particular, after they have established a particular say maybe 2 to 5 years, they are not asked to pay taxes so that they can survive in the market and do business competitively. So when a company is not paying tax, its cost burden is reduced and so it can competitively sell the products based on the prices. Then exchange rate manipulations. So many a times what happens is, to show that exports are more, a country may devalue the currency, means reduce the value of its home currency, or it may deliberately manipulate exchange rate so that the local products become cheaper and they may be exported at a huge rate. So even though GATT, WTO is there, such laws or such tactics are used by companies, governments, so that the local firms can have an edge in exporting. So like for example, you are given a task break for 5 years. So I can freely manipulate, or you can say adjust my price to be competitive and boost my sales. Okay, so we have many boards for such things, so that the local small businessmen can export more and the balance of payment position of a country becomes profitable, or you can say becomes very rosy. Okay, so this is all about capital account and the different trade agreements and disagreements. So any queries, you are welcome to raise it. I see to it that in my next session, I will clear it. So that's all for today. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.